Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models. My name is Bobby Waldron, and in this video we're going to be having a look at one of Tamiya's fantastic 1/32 scale. This is going to be the F4U-1A Corsair. This is up there amongst their absolutely fantastic pieces of work, like the Spitfire, the Zero, the P51. Absolutely stunning kits, absolutely go together, an absolute dream. They are a bit on the expensive side. You are talking around about the £100 mark, give or take a couple of notes depending upon where you go. Fantastic box art just on here. So let's open this up, because it is expensive, but you do get such a lot for your money. So first off, let's get out a couple of bags here, because there is a lot of bags in here. We'll start off with, we've got our decals just here. Right, so let's just open these up, and we have these lovely massive decals just here for all the markings and stuff. The writing is looking, you know, quite nice and clear. It's got sort of like a satin finish to it. Everything looks in registry. It is printed by Tamiya. Tamiya, you tend to need to use, I've got it over here, stuff like the Mr. Mark range. They seem to work better with these types of decals, but looking very, very cool there. We've even got some stencils just here, which you know, we can see all sorts of kind of markings and stuff. Now normally, although these instrument spray panels do look black and blacked out, when you actually get them off and slide them on, there is all sorts of dial detail in there that it just appear when they come off the decal film. They're really, really cool. How they do that. And then we've also got some nice stickers here, which will be for the base, as well as good old Canopy masks. Also with this particular kit, you do get this sort of special edition where all the engine cowl bits, right, have been made clear. This is just so as you can sort of see in the engine with the engine cowl clear and stuff. If you want to go down that route, it is a personal choice, but I mean, it is looking really nicely detailed. And there's a little bit of a tip guide here on painting the transparent parts. We then move into our first bag of plastic. Right, so if we just open this up, in here we get to look at our surface detail for the first time, which being these lovely 1/32 scale by Tamiya, it is absolutely gorgeous. We have lovely in scale recessed panel lines. We've got all these tons of recessed rivets on here as well. I'm even feeling that some of them are raised rivets where they're due. Absolutely stunning detail. I mean, I just cannot show this off enough. I mean, look at the massive amounts of rivet detail on this piece alone. Just trying to get you on camera where the light sort of hits here. Looks absolutely stunning. I think this is the top side detail. Again, absolutely bags and bags of detail. That is just, you know, totally up there as being, you know, some of the best stuff you know, that kits can actually sort of give you out there these days. Just got another bag here. In this bag we have, you know, it's just like the usual sort of screwdriver and some sort of screws and stuff, and then we've got some rubber tires in there. Moving along, there is a lot to get through here, so I might just sort of skip some of the screws because you know, I just wanted to get the picture of all this. But here we have the fuselage section, which this is also looking absolutely stunning. And what the cool thing is, although we've got all this absolutely fantastic detail, it still wraps around and doesn't lose its detail, which some kits, when they sort of wrap around, they do sometimes lose that detail, but this keeps it all nice and crisp. As you can just see there, on the inside we've got sort of like rib detail. Down here in the cockpit section there's a bit of rib detail, but the cockpit, I mean, that's in a whole new level itself. And then some, you know, just little bits here and there, lovely crisp detail going on. Not seeing hardly any flash whatsoever so far with this kit. Moving along, we've got some little bits just here. In here it's sort of just sort of like a bit of rib work and stuff. We've got you know, some bits like wheel well detail and that. As I say, I'm not going to get it all out, so we can sort of get through these a little bit quicker. We have our canopy section just here. We'll have a nice look at this. Hopefully immediately you can see absolutely crystal clear, perfect canopies going on. And not just that, I mean, we've got all sorts of lovely detail again all around it, all this rivet detail, especially at the front part here. Absolutely lovely bits of surface detail in and around our canopy. We have our instrument display panel. This is just like the glass part to sort of give it that glassy type look, and then you've got all sorts of other little bits of lovely clear parts with that. Here we have some more little bits coming along here. We've got instrument display panel detail, right, so those clear parts would sort of go behind here. Then you've got the decals that will go on to those clear parts, and you'd see these lovely dials, absolutely stunning. We've got cockpit detail with all sorts of dials and everything to go on here, buttons, the works. Moving along, more sort of detail with the same lovely surface detail that we've already seen. A bit more cockpit detail, again absolutely stunning throughout. Ejector pin marks, we do have ejector pin marks, but whether we're going to be seeing them I'm not sure. We might be I mean, it does look like we've got detail work here, and I am seeing ejector pin marks on here, which would be a shame if we're going to see them. Fingers crossed we won't. I've got a feeling we might though, looking at those pieces. Then we have some lovely engine detail that you can have on show if you so wish, which looking at this, absolutely gorgeous. All that sort of fine sort of wire work that we've got going on around these engine areas, absolutely gorgeous. Some more detail, some pipes and stuff, you know, absolutely stunning. They've even sort of got it almost sort of bored out as well, so you can you know, you're not having to like drill holes so much. Absolutely stunning plastic going on there. We've got just in here, we've got some more instrument display panels, so I'm kind of assuming we're going to have a few options with this. But here we have some more instrument display. We've got some big bombs going on here, fuel tanks by the looks of it, looking pretty damn awesome. In this sprue here, we've got all that sort of flaps, slats, ailerons, you know, tail sections, all this kind of stuff. Same sort of level of detail that we've seen around the kit, just to sort of speed things along. You do get one of these nice bases also, which is rather cool. Then, interestingly, if you remember, with this particular kit we had this clear part engine section. Well, you get that duplicated in a plastic form if you don't really want to go down the you know, see-through clear parts. Just getting rid of some of the sprues I'm not going to show you. We've got some more sort of propellers and stuff like that. Same sort of level of detail really. We've got our underside of our fuselage section. Right, and although this might seem like it might be a bit complicated to build, these kits go together like a dream. And just look at all that absolutely stunning recessed rivet work that's on here. I absolutely love the surface detail on this. It's just totally and utterly unbeatable. Then we have a pilot, right, one that actually goes in the cockpit and one that is standing up. We've got some you know, pretty good detail for out of the box. We've got our face here, which, you know, we can see eyes, eyelids, even nose, mouth, you know, all the detail is nicely there. Then we've got the pilot that can sit in there with all its seat belts and stuff, and we've also got the face as well. There's a little bit of flash on this particular sprue, but you know, still fantastic nevertheless. Then we have a nice sort of bit of a detail sprue here with all sorts of cockpit detail and stuff. We've got our seats here. You can see some bolts on there and everything, which is rather cool. Some more sort of dials and stuff that we can have on here. We've got looks like to be some sort of internal detail. We've got some sort of internal detail with all the sort of the ribbon and stuff, which is rather cool to see. Some more cockpit detail. You can see all the knobs and everything on there, which is you know, again, fantastic detail for out of the box. More detail, some hoses, right, coming along. Just absolutely bags and bags of absolutely lovely detail. You can't beat it at all. The next sprue we have here is just a bunch of little odds and sods. Oh, actually, we've got some landing gear here. We'll have a little look at our landing gear. Hopefully, as you can see, you know, looking rather nice, looking rather crisp. They are in a two-part thing going on here, so you're going to be messing around with some sort of seam lines and stuff when sorting them out, but other than that, looking pretty fantastic. I think we've got our front wheels here. They're looking really well detailed around the edges there. Very nice indeed. Then we do have a bit of photo etch with this kit, so you know, kind of cool. It sort of upgrades it that little bit more, right? And what we've got is we've got some photo etch seat belts, right, and some other little odds and sods for the cockpit area. We then also have some other little bits just on here, not exactly sure what they're for, but that's a nice bit of photo etch to come with the kit. Then we move into the instructions and a few other little goodies that they've thrown in here as well, which is rather cool. First off, we have this could be yeah, this is sort of like a bit of a background research into the actual aircraft. It's in a couple of different languages, but we've got some reference photos, and it talks a lot about the aircraft, different types of aircraft, you know, even how sort of like the landing gear works, which is rather cool. You're going to have a load of lovely cockpit reference photos just here for you to follow as a guide when doing your cockpit, as well as the engine, flaps, MGs, rockets, more engine detail. Absolutely bags of reference stuff in there, which is a really nice touch when doing your models. We've then got a nice good quality sort of picture here, which is showing us markings and color call outs and stuff, and what paints to use to get these colors. Again, very cool. Then we have the instructions itself, which is quite a big instruction sheet. So I'm just going to quickly sort of go through this just to speed things up. It is black and white, you know, sort of good quality paper. Again, I'm starting off with a whole cockpit section, which you know, I've built the Spitfire one, I've built the Zero one. These cockpits, you know, I mean, you don't have to go out and buy aftermarket parts for your cockpits. They are absolutely stunning, straight out of the box. And then, you know, bring your two fuselage halves together, pretty sort of simple. Engine sections, again, you know, these 1/32 scale Tamiya kits, the engine detail is just, you know, totally out there, absolutely smashing. Just cannot beat it. There's loads and loads of detail. You do have this whole sort of movable ailerons and flaps and slats and, you know, all those kind of things. It's all sort of movable. It's got like metal bits in there. In fact, I've got the Spitfire right here as an example. You know, you can actually have them moving at will. You know, really goes together rather well. Moving along, yeah, I mean, you're building up your internal detail with the wheel wells and stuff, and bringing all that together. Landing gear, they have always sort of done that whole where they do the screwing thing, but it doesn't look like this one has that feature where you can sort of take the wheels out at will, which is a little bit of a shame by the looks of it. Moving along, bring your two wing sections together. I do believe this one you can maybe have this in, yes, you can have it in a folded or unfolded wing configuration, which is a nice little option there to have. Moving along, it's just showing you the folded wing section and how that goes together. So it's a bit of almost a duplicate of a lot of stuff, but you know, you make your choice and you follow whichever instructions. Moving along, finally adding in some flaps. Right, and yeah, that is basically it. I mean, you've got the option of putting it on a stand as well, which comes with a kit, which is rather cool. You've got the options of having free fall bombs or a fuel tank on here, which is rather cool. And apart from that, we end off with some nice stencil markings. Again, this is in black and white, which is a little bit of a shame, but we've got a couple just there. And that is basically everything in the box. There is a lot to have got through there. I mean, what can I say? It's just, the kit is absolutely amazing. It is expensive, but if you want to tackle something that is, you know, probably the best kit you could go out there and buy and build and have on your display cabinet, I mean, this is one of those kits. You know, it's just a big, massive thumbs up. And although it is expensive, I mean, it is worth it. There is so much fantastic detail in here, and the whole kit, the whole plastic, how everything fits together, the detail. I mean, it is above and beyond like what any other manufacturers have out there in regards to that kind of level of detail and stuff. So definitely a big thumbs up. So hopefully you've enjoyed this inbox review here at Genesis Models. So until next time, my name is Bobby Waldron, and I'll catch you next time.